Welcome to Callum Connects, 5-minute entrepreneurial inspiration for your day. Joining us today on Callum Connects is Ari Meisel. Ari is the founder of Less Doing and creator of the Replaceable Founder system of productivity.
A hurdle I faced as an entrepreneur was when I was 23 years old and got diagnosed with Crohn's disease. And for those who don't know, Crohn's is a chronic inflammatory condition that affects the digestive tract. It's considered to be incurable and it's very painful and debilitating. And the medicines I was put on only made things worse. Now, at the time, I had been working 20-hour days in real estate development. I was in an enormous amount of debt, under a lot of stress, and really not taking very good care of myself. And after a long journey of self-tracking, self-experimentation, I was able to get off my meds and eventually go on to compete in Ironman France, and effectively declared myself cured of this incurable illness. But ultimately, the hurdle that I had to face was that I had gone from working these long, 18 to 20-hour days and suddenly found myself in a position where I could barely get an hour of work done on a given day. Now, that extreme restriction on my time turned out to be the greatest gift I could have ever asked for. Because when you ask yourself, and I ask people, what would you do if you could only work an hour less a day? So you ask somebody who works a 9-to-5 job, what would you do if you had to leave the office by 4? Most of them say that they just skip lunch. But if you ask that same person, what would you do if you could only work an hour a day? The question at that point really isn't what would you do, it's what wouldn't you do? And if the things that you wouldn't do still needed to get done, then who or what is going to do them for you? So I had to create a new system of productivity that did not exist at the time based on that question. And that is how Less Doing was born. The idea was less doing, more living. And it was originally focused on personal productivity. And the framework was to teach people how to optimize, automate, and outsource everything in their life and business in order to be more effective. And that has been the underlying framework of everything that I've created since then. And I've coached and consulted and spoken to thousands of people at this point. And over the time that I've worked on this, it's developed into more of a business-focused methodology called the Replaceable Founder, where we want to make everyone as replaceable as possible by creating those systems and processes that allow them to do so. Because if you can't be replaced, you're stuck. So in everything that you do, I would look at that framework and that order very specifically of optimize first. So that means look at how you're doing the things that you're doing now. What resources are you using? What are the processes that you're following? And while that may sound obvious, a lot of us just don't take the time to look at how we do the things we do now. We just keep going. Once you've optimized what you're doing, then you can look at automation. And think about automation in terms of set it and forget it. What is something I can put in place that I don't have to think about again and will take care of those 30 to 45-second actions that I'm doing dozens or even hundreds of times a day? At that point, if there's anything left over, that's when you should be looking at outsourcing or delegating it to some sort of specialist or generalist. So keep that framework in mind, and hopefully that'll make you a little bit more effective.
I help small businesses use the public markets to grow. In 2 years, we've gone from 0 to 100 million in revenue and $10 million in profit. If you would like to know how we did it and how you can get involved, sign up at callumlang.com.